Well, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the podcast. Today I have a special guest. He's a proud family man, a teacher, a friend, and standing in the red corner, we have a professional MMA fighter with a record of 15-12, the only living man to ever top out Kamaru Usman, known as the Fresh Prince of Kendal, Mr. No Way, Jose Caceres. How you doing, Jose? I don't know if that was good enough, if Bruce Buffer invoked me or not.
That was good, and I approve.
But I'm definitely practicing. So for those who don't know you, I always like to have our guests introduce themselves. That way I don't butcher anything. Other than that horrible introduction, hopefully it's not that bad. Tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, what you're doing, and then I guess we'll go and what a relationship is right now.
All right, so I'm Jose Caceres. I'm an ex-mixed martial arts professional. Right now, I'm a family man. I have my two kids and my wife and my in-laws living with me. And I'm also a mixed martial arts professional coach at Freestyle Fighting Academy. And
shout out to Freestyle Fighting Academy.
Yeah, man, that's the best gym in town. 30-day free trial. If you're interested in joining, just give us a call and we'll reach out to you.
And this is a genuine offer, guys. I'm not being paid by Freestyle Fighting Academy. I am actually a student of Freestyle Fighting Academy. Not only me, my son. I can tell you firsthand how good they are, not only with their students, but just the environment that they have there. It feels like a family. Most of the coaches have their own sons there, their daughters. So you feel like a family. At the same time, these people are killers. I can tell you that firsthand. He humbled me very, very, very much. I'm an in shape person. I think I have at least a good build, but nothing ever humbles you like a kick straight to the face in the first practice. And that's what Jose did for me. He really humbled me. I keep telling the story to this day.
I'm about to tell you the story about how I felt about you.
Okay.
Because I do a lot of consultations. People come in all the time telling me that they've done some type of martial arts, and Lewis comes in and the first thing he says that he has some wrestling experience, and I'm a wrestler. So when we come and we do the tour and I have him come in and then we're about to evaluate him and see what he can do with striking, I saw that maybe that was something he could work on. But then when it got to the wrestling, we did I think we taught a double leg, and then we just started doing some live. And then from live grappling, when I started taking my shots, I started realizing this guy does have some skill because he did stuff about 2 or 3 of my shots. And and then didn't let me take him down. So I was like, this guy has some guts, some will. So this guy's he talked the talk, but he kind of backed it up a little bit, so I knew he was going to be a good fit for Freestyle Fighting Academy after I gave him I think I put you straight into your white belt, right?
Yeah. I'm still a white belt. I'm still a white belt because honestly, I don't want to do the blue belt until I feel like I'm ready to earn it,
Yeah.
And thank you so much for that testament, at least for me. It's always like a humbling and nice experience to know at least I can do something too,
Yeah.
I don't know what
my
my
bad about the
reputation
kicks
is.
to the face, bro.
No. So it wasn't a hard kick. It was just like, hi, I'm here.
I know. I was just trying to show you I was holding my measure. I was like, look, this is as far as I can go. And you're with quality. That's basically what I was trying to express.
And that's why I keep coming back, and I love it, because when I tell you there's real killers in there, I mean, Coach Edgar, Coach Eric, or the owners as well. The black belts, very, very well known. So this is
Master Marcos and Master David.
Correct.
Master Che. These guys are bona fide.
Bona fide martial artists, bona fide killers. And I think really what attracted me and made me come back is not only that you guys are professionals, it's that environment, man. It's a family environment where it's like everybody feels like it's very intertwined, and I love that.
Yes.
So one of the reasons that I'm very excited to have you as well is kind of getting into your mindset of a fighter. Because I am training my son right now in the sport, but one of my concerns is for him is, and I tell him, look, I want you to do the sport, but I don't want you to think that this has to be your life professionally, because I'm scared he's gonna get hurt or have CTE or some kind of brain damage Do you worry about these things as a fighter?
That's a natural fear to have. My father had that fear for me. I had that fear for myself. I have that same fear from when I watch my daughter even training in our classes, that like she might fall in love with the sport and want to pursue this, full time. And like maybe if that's what they want to do, I would like approach it in a way where like I would allow them to pursue this full time, and then I don't want them to think about anything else. Like even if they have to use in their mind, right? Like they have to paint that picture in their head where they have to be like, oh, if I don't make it, I'll lose, like, I'll lose something very, very valuable to me. This experience, oh man. For example, my brother, like,
Alex, right?
my brother, Alex Caceres, who fights in the UFC, one of his like mental like connections that he would like, try to like, dial into would be like, oh man, I don't want to be homeless. If I lose this fight, I can end up homeless. And that he'll use like the whole like, man, if I end up homeless. But I'm like trying to remind Alex, like sometimes like to bring him back out of that, I'll be like, Alex, but we have everything. Like you're not missing anything, like, and on top of that, you have support from family and friends. So
yeah, but you need that bite.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like sometimes I think I heard an interview that Mayweather talked about, like you have to go to that dark part of your brain, like you have to allow yourself to go there. But you got to be also your own savior. You got to pull yourself out of that dark hole, and so that way you can like live your normal positive life. But for fighting, some people got to dial in or tap into that.
And what made you actually want to become like a professional fighter?
Well, my dad, when we were younger, he said that his uncle boxed. So that kind of like already when I was little, like
set a standard.
I had like would hang out with my Cuban side of the family. They love boxing. They would watch every Tyson fight, every Roy Jones fight. I mean, like those are like kind of like the ones that I would always remember. Those are like the two main boxers of my era that I would constantly be like watching, because my dad or my uncle would be watching it. Because their uncle.
Cuba is known for
boxing.
Their boxing, yeah.
Yeah.
They're boxing, judo, a couple wrestlers as well,
and wrestling. Yeah, no, definitely. I had the opportunity to be with train with Cuban national boxers and champions and wrestling champions.
You told me you trained one time with Joel, right? Joel Romero?
No, not just one time, bro. Like
multiple times.
Like not even multiple. Like we spent camps together. Like he was my cornerman.
Yeah,
yeah, he was.
So how is that?
Boy.
That dude must be like a wildebeest, like an absolute animal, right?
Well, yeah, man. Like the thing is, like he's not the only one. Like you just hear about Joel Romero, like, but there's like Alexis Villa, and then there's Michelle Baptista, and then there's like. Those are like the three main ones I would be able to mention. Like that, I had like I believe a solid relationship in the training room and in the gym, that we would be like long term, training and motivating each other to like get better.
Gotcha. And to me, you're one of the guys that, since you already kicked me in the face, if if me and you ever have to like scrimmage, I'm always like very, very aware. Okay, Jose can kick my ass, right?
Yes.
Who is that for you, like right now? Like where you're like, I gotta watch myself with this guy, because
in our gym.
Let's start with that in our gym.
In our gym right now, Edgar.
Oh yeah, Edgar's dirty.
Edgar's like, yeah, man, he's disgusting, bro. He knows. He's a true warrior of the game, bro. Trust me. Like I love that guy, and I said if I ever get back into fighting, he'll be my cornerman.
Yeah.
Master Marcos. I spent the whole year in the gym without like ever like grappling with them, only watching them train and like kind of like being held back, I would say. And then I finally got to grapple him like after a year. So I rejoined the gym in March, and I would think I would have like some type of,
defense
like, or attack, or I might have some type of advantage now. You know what I mean? Now that I know a little bit more, I'm about to like go against my old master. That's like my old man. So like, yeah, okay, I can beat my dad probably in a fight, but I can't beat this guy, because this guy's like, he's never stopped training, and he beat my Master Marcos beat my ass, and his brother Master David beat my ass, bro. After like almost 30 pro fights, hundreds of jiu-jitsu matches, been training with everybody in different gyms and having seminars and videos and studying.
And that's part of the reason I love coming to the gym, because, like I said, I got humbled so quick that it reinforces that I just have to keep going and training and working out and actually trying in life, because there are some people out there that Master Marcos, he's just like this regular guy, just kind of like
he's not a regular guy though. That's
no, I'm saying like, he looks like it.
Yeah,
you find him in the street like, this is a regular dude. Dude will kill you.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's like the humbling experience for me. That's why I like it so much. And I become like
And it
this,
was humbling for me as well.
this like fan. You know, it's like, man, I feel good going around somewhere and actually trying.
Excellent.
And then when was the first time in your head, at least growing up, where you were like, all right, I definitely could see myself doing this professionally?
Man, I mean, it could be like when I was a little kid drawing pictures of myself of like, as a professional fighter. I would think that I was like, I used to follow WWF, back in the day, and used to, fantasize about being on that, like that type of platform. And it would be crazy. I would have the action figures. I would have the clothing. I would do everything, bro, that I can. You know what I mean? Even like pretend fight, you know what I mean? To the point when I was in middle school, we had a bunch of people that were like fans of that, and then we had guys that were like wrestlers that actually wrestled and did some kind of like martial art. And then we would like play fight behind the portables over there in Glades Middle School. And this kid Cecil came in behind me and choked me and put me to sleep. And I didn't know how to do anything. He put me to sleep, and I never felt that in my life. I thought I died. When you like, I mean, if you guys ever been passed out before, it's like,
that's never happened.
So like you wake up and it's like, like for me, my experience was like my teeth were chattering, you know what I mean? Like the noise in my ears were like this like mechanical sound, like sirens, and there was no sirens, because then everything just came back to normal.
To focus.
And I was like, wow, what just happened, bro? And like everybody abandoned me out there. The kid was a wrestler. He wrestled in Glades Middle School. So I was just like, kind of like I had a chip on my shoulder. I was like angry at him. Like I didn't tell anybody about this. I just literally was like, I'm going to join this team. And I'm going to beat this kid's ass. Because I didn't know what wrestling was back then either. Like I kind of knew a little bit about it, but I didn't understand it. I just thought wrestling with the most dominant stuff was WWF. So I go into the wrestling room in Glades Middle School when I saw the tryouts on the wall. And my expectations were like, just
like showman, kind of like.
Yeah, I thought that was my expectations, I
like
thought
a South Park episode.
But and then all of us, yeah, exactly. But then now all of a sudden it's like a South Park episode. It's like, these people wearing just regular clothes, what I mean, having these serious conversations and like these hard ass practices. And I was like, holy fuck, bro. And I didn't understand a lick of anything. I didn't know how to shoot, do anything. And I was just like, no wonder I can never beat this guy. Not even if I wanted to, but I have to get stronger.
So wrestling is your base, definitely.
Yeah, wrestling's my base.
No wonder. I'm like, bro.
So I followed this kid all the way. I say I followed him, but we were going to the same high school, and then he tried out that same year, my freshman year. And now I'm a little bit bigger and stronger, and like I kind of like understand the sport a little bit, and like I was still pissed at him. And we were kind of like now even. You know what I mean? Like we have like, some hard matches with each other, but I would make his life a living hell in practice. Every time we had to partner with somebody, that was my partner. I didn't give a fuck. Like I really wanted to.
I have I guess like a similar rivalry in our gym too, and with a kid, but he's very, very good. The 19-year-old, I don't remember his name. He's very tall, white dude. He has like the cauliflower. Ears.
Casey.
Yeah.
Wow.
Dude, he's 19, bro.
No, he has like a man body. He's basically Marv from fucking the movie Sin City.
Yeah.
He has like that worn and torn face, and he's only 19 years old.
He's only 19. The first time we sparred, he made me tap. He hit me so hard in the neck that he made me tap, but I made him bleed.
Yeah, I mean, but.
And I didn't really bother him.
Let me understand. Let me tell you right now. I've lost a fight thinking that like, just because you could make the other fighter bleed, you're winning the fight. It doesn't matter.
I say rivalry because now every time I see him, I'm like, okay, I want to go against you.
Nice.
Right? And the last time we wrestled, I won. So now it's his turn to do something about it,
He's not a wrestler, though.
He's not a wrestler?
He's not a wrestler.
He's so strong, though, bro.
No, but he's not even he didn't have formal wrestling training.
I see.
He's just a jiu-jitsu guy.
The dude is strong, though.
But just farmer strong.
Yeah.
Farmer. Like, he's like from, like, his family, his bloodline is like, from baling hay and shit and
no wonder. I'm like, bro, if you keep training at 25, you're going to be a goddamn monster, It's
he will. And he will.
And then I'll have to shut up and get my ass kicked.
No, you have to be his training partner and just constantly give him those challenges where he sucks at, which probably be the striking. I think if Casey improves his striking better, he'll just be like a pretty phenomenal athlete.
And I think there's a lot of talent there. I wanted to go back to
just improve his striking. I'm not saying become like a fucking Muhammad Ali or a professional boxer, but just to understand it to the point where like he can utilize his game the best.
I think striking is something you just have to do for a very long time because it's it's definitely more, for me at least, it feels more of a skill than a talent thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I see a lot of people who have talent on the ground, and they can get away with a lot just because they don't get tired and they keep moving and countering. But up top, you better know what you're doing or you're going to get pieced up. I mean, it's happened to me.
By a guy that's disciplined, right? Like a guy that's less talented, a guy that just works hard. Yeah. Because that guy is just going to keep doing the fundamentals and just keep breaking you down until all of a sudden your talent just wears off with your gas, right?
100%.
Yeah.
I was going to have to ask you, what do you think of the current state of affairs of some of these fights that are being held, like Tyson and Paul? What do you think of that?
I think it's entertainment, bro. I think it's awesome.
Interesting.
It's interesting entertainment. I think it's inspiring to me, bro. If I see Mike Tyson beat Jake Paul, I'm coming out of retirement, dog.
Yeah?
Hell yeah, bro. I'm going to be like, babe, I'm going to fight again. Wow.
I mean, Tyson's still scary, though. He looks scary. I mean, the dude still punches hard. I've seen a couple of clips of him. Pa, 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 pa. And fast. You would think at somebody almost 60 couldn't do that.
I know, bro. But then I got to think about it. It's like, these are the questions that have to be answered, bro. Like, this is like the time of Roe, right? The circus, right? We're going to be seeing like all kinds of like crazy events. This is one of those events. Can Father Time beat, the youth?
Ultimately, I don't think so. Not in the long term, because things start changing. Like your reflexes, your cardio. You might still be strong.
I mean, like when I see somebody like Matt Brown still winning and knocking people out.
Well, that's true.
A young 25-year-old or 28 or 30-year-old, like.
Or like we were just talking before you got here, like Glover Teixeira is another one.
Another monster.
Like, how the hell are you 40-something and still fighting, for championships?
Because there's still there's that question. They get answered in MMA pretty often, right? Like, so sometimes, yeah, I feel like it's like the game of life. Death always wins. So
it's a fight.
It's just how you play the game. You can play the game and make it like a really cool story, but just understand, like, dude, you're gonna lose. Right.
Do you train other than just in the gym all day? Do you do anything else like to really push yourself?
No, in training wise, no, bro. I could do more. To be honest, I'm being honest. Like right now, no, I could do more. After training in the gym, I just go home and I just like work on other things. I have like other multi, faceted talents and things I like to just practice on, such as like guitar. I play guitar like almost every day. My son loves watching me playing guitar. I watch my grandfather playing guitar growing up, so that's something I'm always working on. I don't know if you see me in the gym.
Yeah, I've seen you. I always see you in the lobby.
And thank you for the guitar, by the way.
No problem, man. Bro, it's a pleasure. Like I said, I always find fighters and people in the MMA community as inspiration to me. You guys are my heroes in the sense of it's a very tough sport. You have to have balls to do it, number one, and like we were talking, it's important for men and women to get humbled every once in a while, or else we start to kind of sniff our own farts, right? Like thinking bro. we're more important than we actually are.
You start trying to throw Diddy parties.
Yeah, I've never been to a Diddy party. I don't want to go to a Diddy party. No. Lewis might though. Lewis might. At this rate, my man might go to a Diddy party. You never know. You're gonna get diddled. You better start doing some, my man. You might have your first client right here. I mean, he's to give you a reference. He's my best friend.
Nice.
And we've known each other for a while now, and he loves fighting as well. He was the one who put me into the fighting game. Like I didn't watch MMA until like 2018, around there at 19, and he introduced it to me. And ever since, I can't watch NBA, I can't watch NFL. It's just not the same thing. The sport of MMA, it's like having a drug now. Like something's gonna happen. Somebody's gonna get hurt. It's gonna happen now. And I think that's why everybody loves it, and it's a growing sport.
A delayed instant gratification. It's just slightly delayed, and all of a sudden, something exciting is gonna happen. And if nothing exciting happens, the casuals are gonna boo the hell out of that fight. Like, oh, there was no blood, there was no KO, there was no violent submission.
Yeah, but they don't see the technique, especially when it's a high level.
When it's two high level people, that kind of like cancel each other out.
Are you excited for any upcoming fights that just kind of get you like I mean, UFC 300 is coming up.
I love watching fights. I mean, like to me, every fight's exciting. I really like watching more of the prelims than I even like watching the main card.
Really?
Absolutely. The prelims to me are the real fights.
Those are the up and comers.
Not even just because they're the up and comers. These are the real fights. Like these are the like as soon as it gets up there, it's like I feel like once it passes that little line after the preliminary to the main card, it's like there was so much studying on these two guys. They kind of like know what the outcomes are gonna be, and who they want to be the champion, who they want to promote, what's the agenda, what are they gonna try to push. For me, the preliminaries are like the more interesting fights because it's like that's like the get out of the gate. Let's get out of the gate. Like, like those are the ones like, when you're watching the Gladiator, right? Like, is Russell Crowe gonna live through this fight or not? But he makes it all the way to the preliminary where it's like, the people versus
the guys at top are set. The guys in the bottom are just, let's get to it or we're gonna cut.
Basically. No, but let's say it's set in a higher percentage. I want to say like because there's always that freak accident where like all of a sudden, boom, the other guy gets a huge upset and shit happens, bro. And that's just like that's also good for the game. That's MMA.
What weight category does your brother compete right now?
My brother right now, featherweight.
Featherweight?
Yep.
Well, is he in the active roster of the UFC?
I mean, he's just coming off an injury. Giga Chikadze broke his arm with a kick that my brother blocked. Yeah. And then he fought. Yeah, he broke it in the first round, and he just fought the next 2 rounds with it broken. Smiling. Because, like, exactly, the relationship, the pain that I feel like I have versus the person, like, next to me or in front of me is, like, different. Like, I have a different relationship with it. And, like, maybe people, like, you think they might think I'm normal, but I have, like, kind of I'm just different in that sense, right? Like, I register.
You have to be a little bit of a masochist.
A little bit.
You just have to be.
You have to be, bro. And I kind of like, especially when I started doing jiu-jitsu and like, like when I was going to go, I remember learning under Master Marcos, like as a teen. There was no kids classes, bro. There was no teens. There's no like what I teach now in the kids. When you see me teach your son, you see how like, there's formality, there's like, control, there's like all this structure. Back then it was like there was none of that. It was just like men sat around in a circle. Men observed like, technique, and if they use their eyes and ears and listen, you might get it. And then then he'll be like, put a timer and then boom, you just drill that move and he'll come around and tell you how much you suck and how much you didn't do. You should do it like this and like that. No, but Master Marco was so cool. Like he was very, like he's so hands-on. He'll like move me around and like, put you in a plate and explain. And that's why I feel like my fucking game it made leaps and bounds from a fucking teenager to like an adult.
No, I agree. And I part of the reason I think I've learned so fast.
Excuse my language. I didn't know if I can curse.
No, you can curse. You can curse.
Okay.
But part of the reason I've learned so fast in the last 2 months is thanks to Coach Eric. I've literally just been watching my son's class. People are like, Louis, you don't go too much. I've only seen you like once or twice a week here. But I go 3 to 4 times a week.
Yeah.
Because I've taken my son twice. And that's where I get the theory. And now I understand how to do a pain burst. Now I had to do a Kimura. To the double leg is actually like this. The single leg is like this.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's been like a theory for me, and then I get to practice it when I go to practice.
Nice.
I have done already like 15 paintbrushes, a couple Kimuras, just because
you're watching Coach Eric teach the little kids.
Just from that.
Nice.
So I think that's also part of the importance, and people don't know this in our classes.
No,
but
bro.
Freestyle Fighting Academy also offers, like if you guys want, like a whole library online where you can just watch the moves step by step by step by step by step.
Badass.
Really?
A lot of gyms don't do that.
Nope.
I've been to a couple of gyms, and it's like you said. They just come in, and this is what we're going to do, and just huddle up and watch. There's no, like, theory.
Yeah.
It's all like, go, 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 go. And then after a while, you're like, all right, how do I know I'm getting better?
Yeah.
Creates fighters without IQ, I think. Not being able to understand what you're doing creates fighters without IQ.
Yeah.
Fighting IQ.
Yeah, fighting IQs.
I want to tell you a couple more. Obviously, the Usman things always gonna be asked for you because that's like your biggest opponent you've had, as far as name. But is he the guy who like most? I don't want to say terrify you, but had you the most nervous before a fight, or has it been somebody else? Who has it been?
Oh man, I tell this story all the time, but let me just tell you like how this fight came about. So I couldn't even be nervous for this fight because I already lost 3 fights in a row. So I was 3-3 at the time when I was about to fight Kamaru Usman. I didn't give a fuck like who they put in front of me. And I wasn't and I just wanted to win a fight because like the embarrassment that I would have in front of my little brother who would never like let me live it down that I was going to be
your brother's a killer too, yeah.
Yeah, my brother, because like and that's how we would just compete like, with each other like that. We'll just be like, like, oh, if you lose, I'm going to fucking, I'm gonna not let you live it down. I'm gonna make fun of you. Basically, you're gonna be 4 or 3-4 or some shit like that. And I'm like, damn, you're right. bro, I can't fucking lose this fight. You know, we're training at an American top team at the time. You know what I mean? And then and you know, miraculously, I had Yoel Romero just fly in. That's his first time in America was here with us at Miami. And you know, I don't know if he let me, but I'm pretty sure we had like this really serious roll the first day I met Yoel Romero, and I caught him in a triangle. And I subbed him. But ever since then, I never subbed him again.
No, because now he knows.
Now he knows. Now he's aware. Knows. And then like, he was hanging out with my other jiu-jitsu coach back then, which was Juan Carlos Feraldo, another black belt that was training at American Top Team. And he was kind of like, you know, showing him the ground game because he was about to go into the UFC. So I had that privilege. That was a pretty cool privilege to like, you know, like see me and also train with him for fucking many years. And then so it was for the camp of Kamaru Usman, I had this guy. I've been training with this guy.
These monsters training in your corner.
Bro, this guy would like rock the shit out of me. You know what I mean? Like with his strikes, bro. Like Romero's strikes are like, his brother was a fucking champion boxer, so he knew how to strike already. You know,
and he looks very nonchalant in his fights. Like, kind of like baiting you in, but as soon as he touches you.
They teach each other shit, bro. So they teach each other shit. So like he's sharp with his hands. Don't let him. He lulls you into a false sense of security, but he's explosive.
So that Usman fight, you're basically, you had a crazy camp.
Yeah, crazy camp. I would run. I mean, bro. I mean, like all my camps are crazy in the sense that like it's always evolved a little bit better. You know, I mean, from diet, exercises, different forms of things, and I've always been in great shape. You know, I never missed weight.
Do you try and get into like what type of mentality do you get into like before a fight? Like what kind of mental state are you trying to get yourself into?
Man, it's like I don't know, bro. It's not a static mental state. It's my state is like, I swear it's like this. I'm extremely fucking worried and scared, you know, probably, you know, in different parts of the day. And this happens in peaks, and at night it calms down, and I try to go to sleep, and I go to sleep, and I wake up. And I'm extremely nervous throughout the day. And then as I get closer to the cage, as I keep walking closer to the thing, it's like there's just like less
it starts fading away.
Less fucks given. You're like already here now. And like this guy is like in another room screaming, you know, like demons and shit out of his body and shit, trying to like, you know, scare me. And I'm just like, it gets to the point where it's like, now that state of mind is like, now I'm here to do what I get paid to do. You know, it's time to bang and throw hands, you know, and try to submit each other. I don't know, like it's a business to the point, like, because you're talking to me right now, like back then, I don't know, I can't even hardly remember what I got into, because I used to think it was like a dream. Back then I was like, I'd walk in there and I thought it was going to be fun, and then boom, the first punch, and I'm almost getting KO'd. Right. So now it's like, man, I'm coming in here, bro. It's time to get paid. You know what I mean? It's time to make this money. My daughter needs to eat.
Motivation is different.
You know what I mean? Like it's just different now. Like now, like, oh, like, and then you might be like you could be down in 2 rounds, and then you try to like, I don't know. And then maybe fighting is like a constant story making in your head. And if you can keep a static focus, right, of victory and winning, like then you can probably achieve that. So maybe this is like why I'm trying to go through like what I go through, but then like I know what it takes to like, you know, be a winner, because I've been a champion twice, you know. So, and I remember,
what championships have you won?
I won the Titan FC champion, and I won the Fight Time Promotions champion in the welterweight division. And these are and I've been up there to the main events, you know, several times where like I've lost. So like I know what it was like to lose, you know, that opportunity, and to work it right back up there and try to get that shit again.
That's something I told you when I signed up. That's always been a dream of mine, to have at least one like an amateur fight. I believe every man should.
Do it, and you can do it, Lewis. Like in your state right now, I can throw you into an amateur fight right now, and you'll probably still have a pretty satisfying, you know, performance. Like,
yeah, but I want to win. I don't want to get my ass kicked.
Exactly. So then, there you go. So now you said it. You already set the tone. I want to win. So now you know what it takes to win. It will take about an 8-month camp of just hardcore, like focused training, just you. Like I did the same thing. There was no amateur fights growing up. You know what I mean? There was no such thing as amateur MMA. There was just, you either had some type of like martial art record. Sorry. No worries. Some martial art record, whether you did karate, wrestling, taekwondo, and you could prove it to the Florida Boxing Commission, and you get your MMA license.
No. Now there's less barriers.
Now there's more barriers, right?
What do you mean more
I
barriers?
mean, like in order to get now your pro license, you have to obtain 5
Gotcha.
amateur fights.
Really?
Yeah, that's I didn't go through that.
So it's a licensing thing? I didn't even know that.
It's yeah, you need
so
to
be
get
able
paid.
To
yeah, and you get taxed on it and everything.
Really?
Bro. Yeah.
Interesting. That's what people.
I'm a professional. Yeah, I've been a professional for about 12 years.
It's like being an insurance agent. Like you have to like pass the board. You have to actually study.
You have to prove. Yeah, there's
Got you.
Yeah, and they all know you. The commission, you'll see the same commission in every boxing thing since like the fucking Muhammad Ali fights is those guys.
And they're the same commission that regulates MMA too.
Yep, in here in Florida.
Here in Florida.
Yeah, because every state has their own commission and their own peoples.
That's the part of the business most people don't know about, huh?
It's pretty cool business. I thought it was cool. I'm like, man, I wonder how these guys got in here, bro. I would like to be in here, like, after retirement.
Yeah, I was gonna say, have you ever like thought of doing something in the business side of MMA or?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm on the way of it. Training with Freestyle Fighting Academy, working with them as well. Learning the business aspect. With Master Marcos and David, and for me, that's like, who knows where that's gonna take me. I'm not like. Like I already know I have something great for me. I just don't know how I'm going to get it. I don't care how I get it. It's going to
just got to keep working.
Yeah, I just got to keep doing what I'm doing. I'm like enjoying my life working, enjoying my life, watching my family, playing my guitar,
that's
skateboarding.
Awesome, man. That's really the dream for me. If I could have something like that too, I think I do for the most part. I just gotta
but we gotta work.
Become a weapon. I gotta become a weapon somehow.
Yeah, exactly. You're doing it here. You do it in your business of life insurance and health insurance, and you also do it with your family and in the gym. It's all that's like a moving meditation. In order to you to like not worry like how you're gonna get it, because there are people that are like, I need to get $1 million. I need to get $1 million. Like, and they're
I think it's a mistake. I agree.
You know what I mean? Like, I need $1 million, but like they're not, and they're like, I don't know how I'm gonna get it. Or they're like worried about how to get it. So they're trying to play the lotto. They're trying to like, they're exhausting themselves doing it so many other ways without just waiting. And this is where I like the philosophy of Lao Tzu. He really talks about that patience and that waiting. About like, by doing nothing, you achieve everything. Sometimes like by doing shit, you're getting in the way of shit. And who's you that you're trying to identify? You think that you're this body? You think that you're these things or this title? You're not. You have to just sit back and be the observer and let the way happen.
That's so hard for me to do sometimes.
That's hard. No, we all get in our way. I get in my own way all the time, bro. Yeah, running's the best.
I love to run like 15 miles, 20 miles.
What?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, you should ask him. Yeah. That's what I do. So like whenever I feel like
you told me something like
I'm not doing something right,
like ultra marathons and shit.
Yeah,
you're trying to do that.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
It's so painful up until you just decide, all right, fuck it, like and let go. And there's such like a weird bliss in that of just your body not caring anymore and still performing at a high pace.
Yeah.
And then when you finish, then like for a day or two, you feel like crap, but you actually felt like you did something. You climbed the mountain, like, like for me, doing well in business no longer kind of gives me that satisfaction that I get from like doing one of these hard runs or going to the gym and facing somebody I know I'm like generally like nervous about. You know, and that for me is more of an accomplishment going in and actually trying and coming out.
Nice.
Than acquiring another $1 million in business, something like that. Because like what you've already acquired, you're already kind of like, all right, I got this, Mm-hmm. So again, that's why I say that to me, you guys are in a light, like heroes, not only to me, but I think to the common man right now who feels, not respected or not validated because they're just working and life is this kind of cycle. But when you're fighting, you have to actually try.
Yeah.
Or you're going to get your ass kicked.
Exactly.
And so I think if more men saw fighters as a role model, as a hero, maybe you won't become a fighter, but professionally, but you're definitely going to become somebody that starts respecting themselves, starts becoming disciplined, starts becoming consistent. And that's going to help you in other areas of life. It's bound to.
Definitely, man. I totally agree. I feel like the fighting even is a remedy for people that like can be prone to like high levels of depression, right? Like it'll help you fight that because we're gonna fall depressed one day, and then you have to learn how to get out of that. And that's what fighting kind of like personifies or resembles is that fighter within. You know what I mean? Like, yo, don't let yourself go. People depend on you, and then you keep wanting to live and stuff. So Definitely.
I wanted to ask you a couple last questions.
Yes, sir.
The Usman fight, obviously, we know that was a surprise. I actually saw the podcast.
But I was not scared of the man.
Podcast.
I didn't care who he was. I was just ready to fight the next man in front of me and get this win, because I have to get this win in order so that I can have a positive record in my thing. So I kept that static mentality in my mind.
Constant storytelling.
You know what I'm saying? The constant storytelling in my mind that there was not going to be ebbs and flows in this wave. This is going to be a freaking sure shot victory. Like, I'm going to win this no matter what. That's what I said. And I even wrote the amount of money I was going to break. I was going to win like $1,600 that day. I was going to buy Pampers for my daughter when she was born and
That's
shit.
That's crazy. That's how much of a hunger. Think about you having to train 8 months for a fight where you're only going to get $1,600. That's hunger.
That's hunger.
I mean, you have to be, because
I was hungry, but but you see, like, I didn't really, honestly, like I grew up in a, like, basically I'm pretty privileged. I did almost whatever the fuck I wanted, you know? So I didn't have to live that way. I chose to live that way. I chose
Did you grow up like in a poor family?
They were like in the beginning poor, but then, you know, my parents came up, you know what I mean? And like, we didn't really have to, you know, like it was not like we were missing anything. I always had a roof over my head. I always had every clothing that I wanted. I always had everything. And I always, like, and if I needed help to, like, let's say wanted to move out and have a house and an apartment or whatever, I could have done that. But I chose, and me and my brother did chose this, like, maybe we won't say it, but I know we chose to live below the means of our thing so that we can focus on this martial art thing. You know, and we put ourselves in that place, you know, of, like, you know, wanting to, like, you know, to struggle so that way we can express that.
Thrive.
Yeah.
I tell you, but you have to struggle to thrive.
Yeah, dude. So, but, like, honestly, like, now that I, you know, realize that you didn't really need to do any of that, you know what I mean? But, you know, but now I'm like 37 now, turning 37. So it's like, dang, I wish I can go back and tell myself all these things. But
yeah, but then you wouldn't be this way. Maybe you wouldn't act this way.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have this perspective. And that's what I tell a lot of people, you know. I went through a lot of shit growing up too, you know.
I bet.
And if I didn't go through that, I probably would have been like a spoiled brat, you know, just like.
But you're not, bro.
A little bitch,
you're
you
not,
know?
bro. Like, you came through, bro. You gave me a hard wrestling session, you know, and you're a solid white belt. Like, I'm proud of you. Like, I'm not.
Well, I always pride myself in being like, the white belt nobody wants to, like, wrestle with.
You know what I'm saying? But exactly. So, like, you earn, like, I'm like, because, like, you know, like, I don't want to have that reputation, like, the people that I sign up, that I give white belts to, like, you know, like, all are just, you know, goofs or, like, people that are just, like, not, you know, why did you do this, Jose? Or they're not right. You know what I mean?
No, I go to work every time. I tell everybody, especially when they start gassing out, they're like, "Hey, man, I came here to work out. Come here to work out."
I knew he was good. When I saw his son, and I was like, "Oh, this guy's legit. He's not a crazy." Good.
No, my son's a little beast. My son's a little beast. And the other day, I was kind of like annoyed with him after practice because he was just playing around. He wasn't trying.
Yeah.
And so we had the discussion, and then the next practice, I didn't take him because he sees it as a punishment. He likes going to jiu-jitsu. Like, if I don't take him, that's a punishment for him.
Oof.
And so I didn't take him last time. He wanted to upgrade his belt. I didn't take him. I said, no, because if you're going to work like that, like, no. For me, I'm okay if you lose, but you better try. You better, like, actually go in there and sweat and get choked out. I don't care.
Yes.
Dude, he went in here last Tuesday and just shot. The kids didn't know what to do.
Nice.
He spent the whole time shooting it, taking everybody down, and being on the top.
I feel like that's the hardest concept for little kids to learn because they get so focused that when they get eye to eye, they're just like all this upper body grappling. And I'm just like, just pop the elbows up and grab the legs. Your son was doing that.
He's so good at that.
Him, and you know who else son was doing that? Andy's son, little Brandon.
Brandon, which one's
Brandon or Andy and Andy?
In the other side?
In the other side.
Yeah, I gotta get him over there for soon.
They're good, bro. Like, I saw it. I'm like, because I know like the fathers who train with us, right? Like the fathers that train and with the kids that train. If you guys are both father and son and you guys like click, you guys are gonna be like Khabib's father son type of, like, you know, relationship. Like, you'll be able to probably like think something and he'll be like, you know, feeling it. Kind of like that kind of connection. So
hopefully that's
because
I
see his dad like looking at him through the cage, and he's just like, and I see Brandon like kind of like
I was gonna ask you.
I see the shot. I'm like, oh.
I was gonna ask you, how do you feel when you see your daughter like competing? Do you get like that, like, do this? No, you can't.
I mean, yeah, I feel like that. You know, sometimes I just freeze up and I'm like, I try to get more into the way of like the philosophy of Lao Tzu when I'm with my kid, just like I do with even every student. I got to let them experience that. You know what I mean? Like, I let them. I try not to feel anything. I mean, I used to. I mean, I seen the results that it gets me. It's not good when you try to get on top of them.
Yeah, I agree.
All the time, like you might push people away. I've pushed people away, man. Like I've had students, but I've been training people since shit. Like I want to say like what, like 10 years already. I mean, I've trained like from kids that were 16 years old that are like now in their, mid-20s. You know what I mean? Already having great mixed martial arts careers. And little kids that like from they were like little babies to like even when they're little amateur fights, they're teenagers, and they always come and thank me. It's like, so I'm getting all that like those experiences that I thought like, what I mean, I always vision myself as like a master for some reason. Like I always saw myself as like kind of like a martial arts master. So like that's something that I would always like hold into my mind, and like it's fruitioning. It's like it's happening.
It's gonna happen. The one thing I love about you in particular is how humble you are. I've never had a sense of you being a prideful person. I've never had a sense of you feeling more important than you are. And I think that's one of the problems that we have with professionals. You get so far up the chain, and then now you're like you don't want to have certain conversations with anybody because I've already made it here. God
bless their souls, then, man. You know what I mean? Like that's just them. You know what I mean? Like what you're saying right now is like it's like a touchy subject because you have many of those friends. I'm pretty sure you have your friends as well or people that that like they come into a different status and then you just become different people and they just forget.
All the time. I always tell people like that's like the worst thing you can do because now you show your true colors. This is who you are. This is who you are to begin with.
Yeah.
If you change up once you get money, you were always like that to begin with. You were just acting a certain way, to get there. I can be a billionaire if I see the floor dirty, if I see the bathroom dirty, if I see somebody needing help. It doesn't matter. I'm a person. Who cares?
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of people miss that. Before we wrap up, anything else you want to shout out? Any where can people find you so they can actually reach out and sign up to the gym?
Oh well, you can reach out to the Freestyle Fighting Academy page. You can message them and we'll send one of our consultants.
Well, I might have your first client here
with your phone number
before we leave.
Yeah, no.
What do you think about fighters? Is it born or made?
Fires?
No, fighters. He's saying are fighters born or made?
They're both. Some are born, and they can, as long as they just maintain that mentality that, they recognize that they're a born fighter. You know what I mean? They can continue becoming the greatest that ever has been. And there's people that are just made, and they're baptized through fire. You know what I mean? Like they weren't, like they had to earn everything. I feel like there's people that are talented, and there's also people that work for that skill. And they're both just as good. And I'll give you an example. So the guy that's talented wins all his matches and then all of a sudden loses one or two matches and then is mentally broken, versus the guy that, probably lost a whole bunch of matches in the beginning, earned his stripes, earned everything, and now knows the same amount of knowledge, as a talented person. This person that lost once is now like mentally defeated. This person already lost like 1,000 times. Is just looking for the win. I feel like the one that worked for it, definitely will be the one that would have more victories over the person that's just naturally talented in a higher percentage.
To be able to get into like the MMA business, though, I've seen though you basically have to have almost a spotless record. Like once you get to the top, so like would you recommend people actually want to do that? Kind of just practice a lot and
treat this fight game like this is your life and career. Yeah. Yes, of course you have to. There's no. You could have done it. I mean, like I didn't. I sure as hell didn't. I just took every fight that they put in front of me. Like, luckily, Kamaru and Colby were just a few of them that were like
you fought Colby Covington too.
I fought Colby Covington.
Did not know that.
Well, you didn't. You gotta look at the records, bro.
I have to look at the records.
It's right there. I sent it to you guys.
I always like to do that though. I don't like to do that because, I always like to hear like your perspective right from your mouth.
Nice.
That's good. Colby's another one.
No, that's good. No, he is one of the ones, bro. He won the national tournament in my college wrestling year when I was wrestling in college. So like,
where did you fight him?
I didn't wrestle him, but I fought him here in Miami.
Gotcha.
But we wrestled both at the same time in Minnesota, Rochester, Minnesota, for the national tournament, which is a junior college national tournament, which is kind of like the NCAA, but for the junior colleges.
Is he just like what I've heard of him? He just has like a pump. The guy does not get tired.
Yeah, no, he's very athletic, man. Like he took me down every round. You know what I mean? I tried to keep the standing, and that was like one of the fights where like I felt like I did more damage to him, you know what I mean, like, than he did to me. All he did was take me down, and I feel like I should have won the fight. So they gave him the unanimous decision for the control time of the ground. So I was really baffled that day. I was like, man, this guy's eyes are like fucked up, bro. Like,
it's like a Masvidal thing, bro. All you're doing is hugging me.
Yeah. So he was a crotch sniffer. That's what I thought that was hilarious. But I mean, no, but he has great takedowns. I'm not gonna lie. This guy had the best, top control. He knew how and then he was mixing with good jiu-jitsu. He was float passing. So he was like he was super agile on the ground. You know what I mean? But like I was good on the ground too. I could neutralize everything. I could stand up. We stood up, and every time I stood up, I felt like I just pieced him up at good times. And I'm like, you can't touch this, dog. You don't got this salsa, bro. Like he didn't have it, dog. He thinks he has it. He thinks he has it. He thinks he has it, but and lately he's been trying. I've been seeing his striking has definitely improved.
He's
like,
throwing more though.
No, he's made leaps and bounds now, bro, in his striking. He wasn't like that in the beginning.
But I think what happens to a lot of these guys, like Kobe and maybe not Usman. Usman's like an exception.
Masvidal came to the back room and he was like, Jose, you won that fight.
Yeah?
Yeah, dog. So that's how I knew I won. That's why I let it go. I was like, fuck it.
But let me ask you.
And Masvidal cornered against me in that fight because he was Colby's boy.
I was going to ask you, wasn't that when they were still together?
He broke up with me and then got with Colby. No homo.
Kobe might say some shit about that. Kobe's, Masvidal's a snake, this and that. You know how Kobe likes to talk.
I mean, like, it's all business, bro. It's all business.
It's like WWE up there.
Maybe a little bit with a little bit of realism. You know what I mean? They probably still won't fuck with each other, but it's like, yo, let's.
That's the thing. Masvidal. One of the things I love Masvidal because he's an entertaining guy. I think he's a good guy generally. But he has like that Cuban thing where it's like he's problematic and he'll fight anywhere and like, bro, come on, man.
I met him at Freestyle Fighting Academy.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's where he came to my high school and did the whole seminar after we like found out about Freestyle Fighting Academy opening up in that same location that you train at. It was just like it was just like this room. I'm saying like maybe a little bit bigger, obviously blue mats, a boxing ring in the back, and that's it. And Masvidal, Kimbo Slice, Charles McCarthy, a few guys that people that were like wrestling, well known in wrestling, they're all there. And I was just like, man, this is cool as fuck, bro.
Yeah, that's why I
was like, and all I wanted back then was that shirt, bro. Honestly, because you're in high school, right? You wanted to wear the shirt and be like, you wanted to say Freestyle Fighting Academy and and represent something and feel like, and if somebody were to fuck with me, you just. I would do what my boy did to me. So this kid I met from that gym named Enrico, right? He's the one that fucked me up in that gym because he invited me to to test him, kind of like what I do now for clients, right? Like, evaluate them, and he beat my ass. And I was just like, yeah, Enrico, I see the value. You choked me and armbarred me and heel hooked me and stopped all my shots and all my punches and kicks. I need to learn this. And then I fucking can. And he's like, look, I got something even better. I'm going to tell Master Marcos to come do a seminar at your gym and we're going to try to get as many people to come here. And he did that, bro. And then he did the seminar. Fucking Enrico took down and subbed my wrestling coach. The wrestling coach. Like, so that was
really?
Like,
who is this?
Enrico Coco.
Enrico Coco.
Look him up if you can.
Enrico Coco.
Yeah. Look him. He's a black belt under Marcos. Master Marcos used to train his kid since he was 6 years old.
Wait, but he subbed Master Marco?
What do you mean? Like, just, you'll know more about this. I'm not going to say.
So you had your
Enrico what? Sorry?
Coco, Cocco. Huh?
That's one over there. You guys asked it too.
Who?
Wrestling coach.
My wrestling coach. Yeah, and my wrestling coach was like, he's like, Jose. He said, Jose, don't start coming here. Yeah.
That's not a mentality though.
Yeah, no, he's like, dude, jiu-jitsu's super cool, man. He's like, don't start coming here. He's like, he knew about jiu-jitsu, but he never practiced it. And then when he got to practice, he's like, this is good for you, Jose. Like, you should do this.
Yeah, he's not a nobody. Wow.
No, he's not. He's a fucking.
Yeah, the dude is good.
No, the dude's
number one ranked, fight to win, 170 pounds in 2019.
That's my
first place.
That was my jiu-jitsu coach for like years as well. So like I've always been training under the FFA lineage. Like everyone I've ever even though I left the gym physically, I just was always training with somebody that was either from the gym or trained with Master Marco. So you understand now there's a lineage, right? Like who are the heads right now? And Master Marcos has another, somebody that trained him, but he's our father's sense of making his martial arts lineage and grow from through like we're children, you know.
And then one of the things I like about Monster Marco is just how open he is, and
super open minded and cool, and badass, and disciplines. Like, that's the man, dude. That's like what you need to like try to strive to be.
100%.
And he's human. Don't get me wrong. I'm pretty sure like once you get to know him more, you'll start realizing like everybody has, he just has those years ahead of us. It's like the sun and the earth, right? Like I'm like every time I'm trying to like reach him, he's already in another level stage of his life, and I'm just where he was. So listening to him and giving like feedback from him was kind of like, that's what mentorship is about. You're like the Silver Surfer. You gotta just keep going, bro. And keep.
No, hopefully you become the mentor. One of these days, and you can do something successful. I really think you can.
I'm pretty sure I still mentor a lot of people, bro. There's people that are like under me. You know what I mean? Like in that sense that I see those kids. You know what I mean? Like there's kids that like that got their jiu-jitsu through me, which got it through basically Marcos.
Yeah, it's a whole line.
So, and it's funny though, because there's a kid there, Christian, right? For example, never trained, but he trained with me and Byron, and we're both basically under Master Marcos. And where did he end up? He went to every other gym. It was just like ended up at Freestyle Fighting Academy. Like gravity is strong, bro.
No, and I think more than ever right now, Freestyle Fighting Academy is definitely on the map. We have a couple of really good fighters that are winning, and
absolutely, yeah.
Just the environment. If you guys want like a family environment, but at the same time like actually learn stuff, I recommend highly to go to the gym. Anything else you want to talk or touch on before we wrap up? Anything you have going on? Obviously, I know you don't have any fights going on right now. You're retired. But any shout outs you want to do to anybody else?
No.
Just live life.
Just live your life, bro, and just enjoy it. Enjoy every second of it. And I'm not trying to say like I'm not thinking about everybody, but I'm thinking about everybody while thinking about my nuclear unit. So.
Well, yeah, there you go.
Thank you, guys.
Guys, I hope you guys enjoy the video. For me, this is like a personal dream of mine to have him here. Because I generally think we need more men to be fighters. We need more men to actually try and become something successful in life. And when you put yourself in uncomfortable situations, especially like fighting, you really get to know who you are as a person inside. So with that being said, thank you so much for tuning into the show. Leave me any comments if you have any questions. And until next time, see you guys.